Hi all, and welcome back to Mod Overkill, starring Lion Whisker, my 1/8 Mad Drift RC car. I bought this sweet case from Ross. I scored a sweet deal because I think it was probably supposed to be $65, but it was broken and I ended up fixing the handle. But I had to make a deal with the manager at Ross to get it out of there for $30. So after getting a good traveling system for Lion Whisker, I figured we better go somewhere. So I took him to the lake to shoot episodes 2 and 3. You might remember in the outtakes of Validation that Lion Whisker got a little crazy and went for a swim. Now look very closely as I'm rescuing the car from the creek. The front wheels turn to the left, then it turns to the right, and then they turn back to the left again without my hand ever on the radio controller. This is evidence of what brings us back to Mod Overkill land. Actually, this mod isn't overkill at all. Replacing the servo, pretty standard mod. Won't waste too much time with it. But fortunately, after that horrific accident, the servo going a little wiggy was the only problem I had with an electric car flying off a bridge, smashing into a rock, and then landing in water. And the icing on the cake is I had already bought this HD 1501 MG because I had planned on swapping my servo out in the future anyway. So this just made the timing right. Okay, with that chore out of the way, on to an aesthetic mod, which is more my forte. I decided after I had covered up the rear bumper with Gorilla Tape that I lost a cool aesthetic value on the car, which was just stickers that show cool racing parts like exhaust. But obviously if you've seen my other videos, you know I wouldn't be satisfied with a sticker displaying a three-dimensional object anyway. And so I went to the hardware store and got myself some of the smallest gauge soft metal pipe that they had and had them cut them for me because I don't have a pipe cutter. And I had them cut them at about 2.5 inches, but I think I just wanted enough material in case I wanted to do it again or cut them down. I probably would have cut them shorter had I done it again. With the material being too long and sticking very deep inside the body, I thought I might have problems hitting the back axle or chassis, but that wasn't the case. So I took the lazy route. Instead of finding a way to cut them down, I just went with it and started taping them in there with 2 extra inches sticking into the car. It wasn't really going to interfere with the driving of the vehicle at all. It's just going to be a little loose and wobbly. So taking the lazy route, I decided I'd like to make it a little more solid. So I was like, I need some plastic cubes or some lightweight cubes of some sort to kind of solidify in there with all the Gorilla Tape. Cube taps. Just take the metal out of them, put them back together, and I got myself a little plastic cube that's about the perfect size to jam in there and make that back a little more solid. In hindsight, I would just find a way to muster up the dignity, throw it away, and go back to the hardware store and ask the guy with the pipe cutter to cut me one again, or just go buy a pipe cutter. The lazy man works harder.